All right, AJ, you let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. Thank you.
I'm going to call this regular session of the Springfield City Council to order with roll call.
Mayor Van Gordon.
Here.
Councilor Pitts.
Here.
Councilor Moe.
Here.
Councilor Rodley.
Here.
Councilor Stair.
Here.
Councilor Woodrow.
Here.
And Councilor Pictionary.
Here.
All right, Neil, can you call the first item, please?
Yes, you have one item tonight, and this item has a motion. Item number 1, Gateway Area Property Sale. Courtney Griesel is here for the staff report.
Evening. Appreciate you all meeting in a special session this evening. We are here to request your authorization to draft and execute a purchase and sale agreement for property which we purchased from ODOT in February of this year, located Gateway Boulevard and Beltline. We're requesting the authorization to form the agreement between BOEV LLC and the city. BOEV owns the properties immediately surrounding the tax lots and identified in attachment 1 of the packet. Just for a little bit of background, there's 2 tax lots that we purchased from ODOT. Tax lot 1200, which is the piece to the north that is the home of the flame sculpture. And then there's tax lot 1300 immediately south. This is the tax lot that we're talking about this evening, just tax lot 1300. Although we are in the process of expanding the footprint of that tax lot, our goal is to create the most square footage that's redevelopable without compromising our ability to do some future landscaping around the sculpture. This also helps us recoup more effectively the costs of acquiring the property from ODOT. We purchased both parcels in total for $345,000. That purchase price was based off of an appraisal with deductions because the tax lots do not have access off Franklin Boulevard. It's actually why they were purchased by ODOT. And the tax lot 13 on the south actually has some very low levels of contamination left from when there was a gas station on the site. They are low enough that the site's able to develop to sort of highest best use under its current zoning. So we are asking for this authorization with a value of the sale to be equivalent to $10.31 per square foot. So that's what we paid ODOT for about a month ago. And we would pass that price forward to BOEV and we would apply it to the final square footage of the site. We think that final square footage is going to be around 22,000 square feet. It'll go from about 20,400 square feet up to 22,000. And that then comes to a purchase price of about $226,000. That's a lot of twos and thousands and numbers. But that's kind of the high level nuts and bolts of what we're asking for this evening. Do you have any questions?
Councilor Stair.
Now you say Franklin Boulevard?
You know what, you might have, because that's top of mind for me, but what I would have meant was Gateway, Boulevard and Beltline.
Leonard.
This is just for my information. The transaction is the property that we just bought from ODOT is now where we're going to turn around and sell to the investors and the developers. Why was it necessary for us to be the intermediary here? Is there a law?
Not a law necessarily. ODOT was ODOT is a good partner to the communities. On this case, they took a little extra process and were hesitant to sell to anyone but the city. But even more importantly, we did want to acquire the property that the flame sculpture is on, and these parcels were only for sale together. So it was beneficial for us to purchase and then keep our flame property.
All right, that makes sense.
Any
I have
other
a question.
Go ahead, Damian.
So I understand that, the potential for any type of contamination is low, but I'm curious what will happen if during the development phase, contamination can potentially become more prominent. Is there any way to be able to continue, or either us or the developers to continually reassess what the contamination could potentially be?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and we're actually we're about 2 years into a pretty lengthy process with Department of Environmental Quality on the site. So we have taken this through multiple phases of testing, boring, and right now there's actually monitoring wells on this site where they have been sparging, so they're pushing air into it to try and create organic matter to sort of mitigate. And it really has done most of that work and brought it down below contamination levels that DEQ is concerned about. There is a contaminated media management plan, a lot of syllables in there on the site, but simply what that just means is it's instructions to anyone in the future who might dig about how they ought to dig and what they ought to watch for. But at this point, DEQ has issued a letter of no further action on the site. That includes that contaminated media management plan. They're doing a second review because they actually think it doesn't even need, it may not need that level. But we are working through that, and we're getting formal documentation with DEQ so that we have that confidence that it's a healthy site.
All right, any other questions?
Tell me when you're ready for a motion.
I think we may be ready.
I would like to move that, this is long. I'd like to move that we authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a purchase and sale agreement with BOEV LLC for sale of city-owned real property located at the corner of Gateway Boulevard and Beltline, map 17-03-22-20, tax lot 1300, at a total sale price of $10.31 per square foot.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Neil, could you call the roll, please?
Yes, Counselor Pitts,
Aye.
Counselor Mo,
Yes.
Counselor Rodley,
Yes.
Counselor Stair,
Aye.
Counselor Woodrow,
Yes.
and Counselor Pictionary.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes 6-0. Thank you, staff, for bringing this so quickly, because I know that's a pressing need for the developer. I'm glad we got it done. All right, and that is it for our special session. We can stall for a couple more minutes if you guys want to make sure that we're right on time for the CETA session.
There you go.
And I apologize to everyone with the adjournment of this meeting. Not that anybody wants to, but we're testing your skill at jumping links. We are heading to another link for the CETA meeting.
Perfect.
Okay.
This meeting's adjourned. We'll see you on the other side.